So mastering the field, mastering recruiting, and mastering training. That's today's subject. So mastering the field. I'm going to give you the simplest version of mastering the field. Okay? I've got this chart here with time going on the horizontal axis, and I've got attitude on the vertical. You guys with me so far? So when you start your day, what's your attitude like when you start your day? Okay. Anybody start off low when you're starting in the field? I mean, listen, if John Black is running a morning meeting or Moriak's running a morning meeting, you're ready to run through walls, okay? So you get your attitude nice and high. What happens as time goes on? I mean, everybody seems unanimous with that. Time is going on. Why is the attitude slipping? Yeah, you're hearing the words no, your legs are getting tired, you're getting fatigued, but really the rejections, if there's a reason why people don't join the business, I mean, nobody is looking, hey, can I get a job where I could hear the word no 100 times a day? I mean, the rejection, it's real. And so the no's are building up, they're building up, you're going down. The problem is none of us know who the customers really are. Like sometimes I'll be walking through the mall, like I'm the easiest customer ever. My wife gives me trouble sometimes, like, you know, when somebody's even selling religion and they knock on our door, I answer the door every time. I listen to the pitch every time. So I'm walking through the mall, I'm like, I wonder, these people that are hustling in the mall, do they even know that I'm the person that they're looking for to get the easy yes? And sometimes they'll let me walk right by, I'm like, you sure you want to let me walk by? Like I'm the easiest one you're going to have today. So the problem is when we finally meet that person, okay, this person was going to be a sale. Again, the problem is none of us have a crystal ball. We don't know that that was the person. The problem is we met this person when we were at a 5 out of a 10 attitude. Like we hear the word yes, we know it's going to happen. If you hear a yes, let's just say even with a 5 out of 10, you heard the word yes, where does your attitude go after you hear the word yes? I knew I could do this. Right, you're back up here. I'm the man, you know, and you get on the group me and you're throwing whatever your emoji bombs are, you know, letting everybody know you're the man. Time goes by again and you're playing this game again. That's the problem that we're all facing. Okay, so I just want to start off with the challenge. And so the answer is really simple. You need to maintain a 10 out of a 10 attitude long enough until you hear the word yes. It's this little window of time right here. So we're not talking about, well, you need to maintain your attitude all day long, 8 hours. That seems a little too daunting. I think we may be asking too much of our new people to say you need to maintain an attitude long enough for 8 hours, but as we went through this exercise, you only need to maintain your attitude long enough until you hear the word yes, and then you're back to being at full strength again. It's like playing a video game and you're back to being 100%. And you can take a few blows when you're 100%, but you can't take many blows when you're down to 20%. So you need to maintain your attitude long enough until you get some momentum. And so here's the goal that every rep should have. The goal is any campaign, any territory, with a great attitude and a great work ethic, I can make my goals happen. I can make things happen. That's really the goal. And so I will maintain, or I will achieve my goal, and I will maintain this great attitude with a ferocious intensity toward my goals. And the question is, where does this will or this ferocious intensity come from? Like, how do you develop this mindset to, like, you know what, I'm going to have this great attitude. I get it, Jamie. You're telling me to maintain a great attitude for 30 minutes maybe till I hear the word yes, then I'm back up to where I need to be. But where do I get this like drive from to want to do this? Well, I'm hearing a lot of stuff, and here's where I'm coming from. Here's the word that I didn't think any of you would say. It comes from incentive. Incentive? Yeah, the problem with most people in the field is we, the owners, aren't giving you the proper incentive. Like, what are you talking about, Jamie? There's commissions. I'm like, well, let's just play something out here real quick. So if I pull you aside in the morning meeting, I'm like, hey, come here real quick, come here. We're about to end the morning atmosphere. You're about to go to the field and try to slay some dragons. What's your goal today? And you're like, well, Jamie, I'm going to make $200 today. I say, tell you what, I'll give you till 9 p.m. You get till 9 p.m. So if you need to go the extra mile, you go the extra mile, but we're going to cut it. I'll tell you, I'll even give you till 10 p.m. We'll cut it off at 10. But if you can make $200 today, at the end of the day, I'm going to wire $1 million into your bank account. Now, how many people here would have any doubts, just to show of hands, that you, well, Jamie, I haven't been trained well enough yet. I'm still pretty new. Does anybody have any doubts here that you could make $200 if I gave you $1 million bonus? So the problem isn't you don't have the right skill set, you just don't have the right incentive. $1 million, dude, I'll do anything. Like, nobody here would say, well, you know, I'll try to make 200, Jamie. No, you would do it. And none of you have any doubt that you would do it. Okay, Jamie, that's such a big exaggeration. Okay, so that's one example. What if I had this conversation with you? I pulled you aside. I'm like, hey, listen, what's your goal today? Make $200. I'm like, tell you what, if you don't make $200 today, I know your landlord or I know the bank that owns your home, and we're going to kick you out. Everybody that lives in your home, you're all getting the boot. You're all going to be homeless by the end of the day if you don't make 200. Now, you got till 10 o'clock. But get out there and do it. Does anybody here have any doubts that you could get out there and make it happen? So again, the issue is incentive. And so the famous Tony Robbins, I don't know if any of you listen to Tony Robbins, but he is the guru. He says that human motivation, right, there's two big drivers for all of us. It's pleasure and avoiding pain. Those are the two things that make you move. How do I gain pleasure? What do I need to do to gain pleasure? And what do I need to do to avoid pain? And so I'd put that challenge back on you guys. Do you know how to pull the levers of pain and pleasure in your life? Like, here's something that may be worthy of writing down. The minimum requirement of being an entrepreneur. I don't know if you've thought of this before. Some people would say, well, capital. It's not capital. The minimum, the very entry into being an entrepreneur is self-motivation. That's a minimum requirement. Knowing how to motivate thyself. That's how I word it in my household. Now, if you can't motivate yourself, something else to tell my kids, hey, listen, no problem if you can't motivate yourself. There are alternatives if you can't motivate yourself. You can outsource the motivation. As a student in school, you can outsource the motivation to your teacher. They'll keep you motivated. You can outsource the motivation to an employer. They'll keep you motivated. So you can outsource the motivation, but if you want to be the boss, if you say, you know what, I want to play my hand at being an entrepreneur here, the minimum requirement is you must be self-motivated. And I would just say, listen, know how to pull the levers of pain and pleasure. So I'll give you an example as a field rep. If I wouldn't hit my goal, I would deprive myself. I'd need some discipline that I'm not going to watch SportsCenter tonight. Now, is that much pain? Well, it kind of is pain. I want to watch SportsCenter. There's lots going on. So I'm going to deprive myself of that little 30-minute window of time where I love watching, what happened in the world of sports today. I don't hit my goal today. I'm not watching SportsCenter. Something I would use for pleasure, while I hit my goals for the week, I'm going to have a nice steak dinner. And I'm talking to a bunch of Canadians here, going to the Keg restaurant, baby. Want to have a nice big steak dinner at the Keg. So I got my pleasure in front of me. I kind of look at myself like I'm a donkey. I need a carrot to chase, and I need a stick on my butt. It's good old school pain and pleasure, but you got to know how to do that. That is how you master the field. But I don't think you need to look at it like it's a full day experience. It's just until you hear the word yes. Okay, so know how to drive yourself, push yourself till you hear that yes. That is what mastering the field looks like. Okay? We're going to talk about mastering recruiting. Probably the first question that is asked when I'm talking about recruiting is, actually go ahead, throw me. What would the question be? Where the topic now is recruiting. What are your questions? How do you find good candidates? What characteristics are you looking for? And so I'm going to ask you this question. When is the right time to learn how to size somebody up? Well, listen, I'm doing an interview. I'm going to size this person up. I'm going to make a decision after I talk to the person. Do I want this individual? Yes or no? Are they qualified for my business? Yes or no? And I think a lot of leaders think that that's their job in the world of being great at recruiting. And I'm going to give you listen, I'm from Saskatchewan, Canada, and there was a time back in my day where I used to be a young single guy, and I would go to establishments to try to talk to girls. Okay? And I discovered quickly that there are two strategies if you're going to a club or you're going to a bar or going somewhere and you want to meet somebody. Strategy number one is I know exactly what I'm looking for. I know what she looks like. I know her background. I know all the characteristics, and I'm going to be very tactical and strategic, and I'm only looking for this one person. I'm going to zero in on her. I'm going to go talk to her. That's one strategy you could have going to the club. I never had that strategy. I had strategy number two. I want all the girls in the club to want to talk to me. Right? Guys got to learn how to do a little bit of dance. I didn't have that going for me, but you got to know how to kind of work it, obviously, right? You got to know how to get in there and make some friends, get people to want to talk to you. But if everybody, you got a nice problem on your hands if everybody wants to talk to you. We got a nice problem. I got 10 girls who want to talk to me here. Why would I have that strategy? Because I didn't know what I was looking for. It took a little bit of trial and error to figure it out. And I think leaders in the business, you need a little bit of trial and error. So in my opinion, at this stage of your career, you do not need to learn how to size people up. Rather, you need the skill of attracting everyone to your business. Like, true or false, the recruit that you're sitting down with, someone else interviewed this person, somebody screened this person and put the person in front of you. So then you don't need to be the judge or jury whether this person fits certain requirements for your business. Focus on your ability to attract. So what makes a person attractive? I came up with 4 things that make somebody attractive. And we could all come up with a long list, but personality, being kind, sense of humor, positive attitude, being present, being engaging. I think the goal is to be magnetic as you're interviewing candidates. Another one is to be a good conversationalist, know how to ask good questions and listen intently. A third one is work on articulating your vision, like why your business and why work with you. I've heard a lot of people say, hey, listen, I'm the opportunity, like working with me is the opportunity. Can you articulate that? Because maybe there's some truth to that, but can you articulate like why working with you is special? And the fourth one I have is be confident in yourself and your trade, your business. It'll be difficult to attract people to something that you don't buy into. And I think it's fine if you're a leader and you're not 100% bought in yet. I would just challenge you to say, well, what questions do you need answered in order for you to totally buy in? Like somebody that dates a girl for 5 years, I'm like, what? And like, you going to marry the girl? Well, I'm not sure. What do you not know that you need to know to make a decision to move forward or like go the other way? But how much time do you need? Like, what do you have left to know to say, you know what, I'm doing this, I got both feet in, because your confidence is going to show as you're recruiting. If you're not sure about what you're doing, you're not sure about yourself, you're going to have a really difficult time in the world of recruiting and attracting talent. So once we are magnetic, then you can figure out the characteristics that you're looking for. And I've got 4. I call it SCHC. There's 4 characteristics that I'm looking for. But again, I wanted to bring this part up after Don't go looking for these characteristics first. First, you need to learn how to attract everybody. Now that you have the skill of attracting everybody because you're likable, you know how to attract, you're magnetic, well, here's the SCHC. Social skills. We're not in the computer programming business last time I checked. We are in a very social business. When COVID happened, the two swear words that came side by side when Fauci was talking, I'm like, oh, please don't say that. I can't believe this is happening. Social distancing. We're not a social distancing kind of business. We're in the people business, so they have to have some social skills. So I am looking for social skills. I'm looking for confidence. I am looking for hunger, that's the H. And I'm looking for character. Those are the 4 requirements that I'm looking for. Now, I am quick to size up social skills and confidence. You can usually tell that pretty quick. Social skills and confidence. But I am super slow to size up somebody's hunger, their drive, and I'm even slower to size up somebody's character. How can I size up somebody's character where they're, oh, you're a shady person after knowing them for 30 minutes? You can't say that unless there's something so obvious. You know, the guy stole the administrator's pen and won't give it back. Okay, maybe we've got a problem here or something like that. But I'm not quick to size up people's character. In the long run, I want somebody with great character. In the short run, okay, you got great social skills, you got great confidence. I want this individual. Oh, you've got hunger? I'll find that out later. Oh, I like this person. Oh, you got great character? I've got a winning combination. I have an owner on my hands here. Now it's just a matter of time. So that's what I'm looking for. So that's mastering recruiting. But again, don't focus so much on here's the characteristics of the recruits you want. You'll have your own answer. I've got mine, SCHC. You'll have yours. You'll have your 3 things you're looking for, your 2. And I don't think there's a right or wrong. But the part that I can speak very confidently about is learn how to attract everyone. And the final part is mastering training. All right, I got 2 parts of this mastering training. So what makes somebody successful in the field? I've already given my answer. Social skills, confidence, hunger, character. Can you develop these things? My answer is yes. I think more is caught than taught. So you model these behaviors. Okay, I've been saying for a long time in the world of parenting, you know, my son just turned 16 years of age today. And I'm like, listen, my go-to strategy has been kids don't learn with their ears, they learn with their eyes. Part of me was wondering, hey, should I come up to Montreal? You know, my son's turning 16. I'm like, oh, what a great opportunity for my son to see sacrifice, to see that, oh, dad's got to be away. He knows I want to be there with him, but hey, dad's away, dad's working, dad's slaying dragons for the family. More is caught than taught. Kids learn with their eyes, not their ears. And the reps on your team are going to learn with their eyes. What they see you do is going to be way more important than what you tell them what to do. Okay, so model the behaviors that you're looking for. So figure out what it is you're looking for and do your best to model those things. And then the second part of mastering training is simplicity. There's an Albert Einstein quote I have regurgitated a lot over the years. If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. I can't tell you how many times I've been saying that quote. People that put together these long emails, I tell people, listen, if you can't fit it into a tweet, don't email it. It's too long. You're losing the audience. I think Twitter or X might have changed it. It used to be 140 characters. I think you can do it a little bit longer now. At least I do it a little bit longer. But you used to have up to 140. That's it. You got to know how to keep it really short and simple. So my son is learning how to drive, as I told you, turned 16. And I'm like, gee, I learned how to drive in Humboldt, Saskatchewan. We don't have 2-lane anythings in Humboldt. It's just 1-lane traffic, pretty easy to learn how to drive where I come from. But my son is learning how to drive in a city that has 9 lanes of traffic going one way and a bunch of lunatics all over the road. And a bunch of ladders falling off trucks in the road. It's kind of you're playing a video game every time you get behind the wheel, is what it feels like. And I'm like, oh, gee, I haven't thought for a long time, what are the things that I do that I would consider myself a good driver? Because obviously they're putting most of the teaching on the parents. And I had to start thinking about like, okay, I got to keep this really simple for my son. And the most popular word in the car with my son is the word hovering. Like, when do you take your foot off either the gas or the brake and you're hovering over either of them? And I didn't really think about this stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is really good. Like, if there's an intersection, I'm sure maybe you guys haven't really thought much of this, but when you're entering an intersection, chances are you're probably taking your foot off of something. If you're not, maybe you should. But there's a lot of people blowing red lights. There's a lot of people not paying attention. So that is a hovering opportunity in an intersection. So I'm telling my son every time, okay, watch this. Foot's off the throttle, but I go either way. I go gas or brake, but I'm ready in the intersection. And then on the straightaways where there's no intersection, that's a full throttle experience. And let's go nuts here. You want to gain some time? This is your time to gain. But this whole like when to hover, when not to hover, I needed to come up with like a driving system for my son. And it reminded me, interesting story, when I was a newer leader, I just got promoted to leadership and I thought I was really figuring the business out. I'm like, you know what, I got this business figured out. You know, you learn how to sell, you start building a crew, but there was a guy in the office named Andre, and I don't know today's way to say it exactly, but Andre was mentally handicapped. Am I allowed to say that? Is there a different way of saying that? What? Nobody's snitching? All right. He was mentally handicapped. Like, I'm not insulting, it was what it was, right? And so I was like, okay, what exactly is Andre doing here? Like, again, I got the business figured out. You're building a crew. The goal is to become an owner. And I go up to one of the owners. His name is Terry. And I'm like, hey, Terry, hey, I just got a question for you. What's Andre doing here exactly? And he says, oh, Jaime, I'm glad you asked. He goes, first of all, Andre is my cousin, and my goal is one day he could work in a grocery store or something like that. I just knew he needed some social skills. He needs to learn how to interact with people, and so I thought this business would be good for him. But again, I'm glad you asked because he has nobody to train him, and now that you're a new leader and you've got nobody on your crew, I'd like you to train Andre. I'm like, oh, great. It's me and my big mouth asking about Andre. So I've got Andre, and I'm like, okay, man, we're starting from scratch. Like, we're going to build this pitch from scratch. And I started asking myself the question, like, what hand am I holding my portfolio in? Or if you're holding a tablet, have you paid attention to whether you're holding it in your left or holding it in your right? I started asking myself these questions. When I engage with a customer, do I say, hey, how are you? Or do I say, hi, how are you? No, I haven't really thought about that. Let me analyze this a little bit. When I do wave at a customer, am I going from the inside out or the outside in? But I really wanted to get to the science behind forming the simplest pitch possible for Andre. And I'm proud to say within 2 weeks, Andre was hitting leadership standards. So you don't have to applause for me or whatever. I just did what I needed to do. But I'm telling you, that was a great lesson for me, a great lesson on Jaime. When it's complicated, you're not going to be very duplicatable. Like, the key to duplication is simplicity. Complexity is much harder to duplicate. So that's what mastering the big three for me looks like. Become an expert in the field, become an expert at recruiting, become an expert in training and developing others. And I'm telling you, becoming a professional in these three areas will drive your income, it'll drive your promotions, and it'll help you scale any business.